Hi everyone, this is the first author Jiyao Wang from the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, Guangzhou. Today I'm going to present my research about evaluating large language models on academic literature understanding and review, an empirical study among early stage scholars. Since 2023, the rapid advancement of AI and NLP has resulted in the development of sophisticated large language models such as ChatGPT, GPT-4, and the cloud. Large language models, in short, is LLMs. As LLMs has demonstrated impressive capacities in generating, understanding, and solving complex language tasks. It has been applied in various fields, including healthcare, education, and with potential benefits such as idea extraction, communication facilitation, and enhanced writing. However, compared to general creative tasks, academic tasks require extensive training, judgment, synthesis of information, along with high standards for logical coherence, accuracy, and novelty. Therefore, responsible AI tools are needed to meet the demands of academic community, which necessitates evaluating the capacity boundaries of LLMs in academic setting. However, few studies has evaluated the effectiveness of LLMs in assisting academic tasks, but the diversity of academic tasks and the introduction of inaccuracies and biases by LLM pose challenges. So in this work, we propose these research questions. The first one, from the perspective of understanding, how do task complexities affect academic users' performance when using LLMs for different tasks? Task complexity, as we all know, which can be moderated by task type and time pressure, further influence the role of LLMs in academic tasks. Secondly, as users' perception of LLM limitation and expectation can influence task performance and strategies, similar to the automation, especially among young scholars as they are new to LLMs and may have uncertain strategies. So we propose another research question, that is, how does training about LLMs limitation affect user strategies when using LLMs for academic tasks? So in this page, we present the overall information about our experiment design. There are 48 young scholars with diverse backgrounds selected. Firstly, we set up one between subject factor, that is, with extra training or not. Specifically, we provided participants with or without training materials regarding the limitation and potential errors that may be made by the LLMs after the basic training for using LLM. Besides, other two within subject factors are task type and time pressure. Two types of academic tasks, literature review, in short LR, and paper understanding, in short PU, were used in this study. In addition, we set two levels of time constraints for the tasks, that is 10 minutes and 20 minutes, to construct comparable pairs under the same task type. In this experiment, ChatGPT in 3.5 version was selected for the experiments. The demographic information was presented at the right. In this page, we present the overall workflow of our experiments. In general, after screening out qualified participants, we equally divided them into two groups. Subsequently, participants received basic training around 10 minutes regarding how to use LLM. Next, one group of the participants received an additional pre-experiment training video regarding the LLM limitations. Then, participants were asked to complete 4 academic tasks on the same laptop. That is, paper understanding with more time PUMT, paper understanding with limited time PULT, literature review with more time LRMT, and the literature review with limited time LRLT. Lastly, after they completed the experiment, a post-experiment semi-structured interview about 30 minutes would be conducted. We adjusted flexibility questions during the interview based on responses. For our analysis methods, first, this slide focuses on the quantitative parts. In general, we built three mixed linear regression models corresponding to three dependent variables. All of them take the same candidate independent variables, including participants' demographic backgrounds and the experimental conditions that are extra training, task type, and time pressure. For the two dependent within subject variables, two expert raters evaluated participants' answers with high inter-rater reliability. Lastly, we conducted Turkey-Kammer post-hoc tests to examine the significance of two-way interaction variables. For the qualitative part, we firstly identified themes of interest and perform open coding. Then, descriptive statistical analysis explored frequency and distribution of coding. Finally, we combined quantitative and quantitative analysis for robust inferences. For the results from the quantitative analysis, we first find out that participants exhibit varied preferences for using LLM tools in different tasks. Some participants choose to complete the paper understanding tasks without LLM, particularly under low time pressure. However, all participants opted to use LLM tools during the literature review tasks. Second is the type of training, task type, and time pressure significantly influence the time spent on tasks. Task type and time pressure were also influential factors for grades. Specifically, participants spent more time and achieved higher scores in paper understanding tasks compared to literature review tasks. Under high temperature, participants spent a higher percent of time but obtained lower scores. In addition, participants who received limitation-related training spent more time compared to those who received only basic training. However, no significant effects of training were observed on grades. So for the third findings from the quantitative results, we identified that within the group without extra training, participants with more experience in utilizing LLMs in academic setting spent more time compared to those with less frequent usage. In paper understanding tasks, experienced users were more likely to obtain higher grades. As for the results from the quantitative analysis, as the time limitation, we will not present detailed results of quantitative analysis, but directly provide key findings from combining quantitative and qualitative results discussion in the following parts. In this slide, we present the visualization of descriptive statistics for each category at the left, and the LLM tool usage strategies metrics in different situations at the right. For detail, please refer to our full paper. For the discussion section, from the perspective of strategies in using LLM for different academic tasks, we first introduce findings. That is, through the quantitative results, we can obtain the first two findings as we mentioned before. For the reason, according to the interview, we discovered two reasons. People feel confident in their ability to understand the scientific literature without LLM, and they don't want to rely too much on it. They are also concerned about the risk of losing their learning skills. We think that People's personality and their hopes for future academic success might also influence whether they use LLM for these tasks. Of course, because only early-stage scholars participated in the work, these factors are expected to be explored in near future. Moreover, a flowchart was created to show the process of completing tasks using LLMs, which reviews different strategies for PU and LR tasks. As shown in this page, we can see young scholars can adaptively change their strategies when using LLM for different tasks. Then, during their interaction with LLM in tasks, participants may modify their strategies repeatedly. For example, they adjusted the context in their prompts to optimize the generated results. The second finding from strategy choices under time pressure, we identified that with low time pressure, researchers exhibit a more positive attitude and are more confident in fulfilling tasks. By contrast, researchers show a more hesitant and negative attitude toward using LLM under high temperature, and they tended to avoid double-checking LLM-generated content. Therefore, designers should balance efficiency and effectiveness to better support users, considering customizable trade-offs between response speed and accuracy based on users' different levels of time pressure. From the perspective of users' attitude and concerns of LLM, we find out that researchers generally have a positive attitudes and focus on their functions, focus on LLM's functionality and effective utilization. However, young scholars may overlook the limitation, privacy issues, and the ethical concerns associated with LLM tools. Overstating the abilities of LLM may lead to over-reliance and negatively impact academic performance and critical thinking skills. So, young scholars should receive training on the limitation of LLM tools to make informed decisions about their usage. Lastly, from the perspective of the role and the future improvement of training, we think users who received limitation-related training expressed lower satisfaction with the effectiveness of LLM, but were more skeptical of the generated content. Because lack of experience and the limitation-related training can result in low confidence and unwillingness to adopt advanced strategies in usage. Thus, developers should explore better ways to present information and actively engage with users through online platforms and social media to address usage-related queries. Finally, we conclude these takeaways for you. The first point is young scholars can adaptively change their strategies when using the LLM for different tasks. The second point is time pressure can affect user attitudes and strategies towards LLM. However, these strategies may not match their attitudes. The third is young scholars have positive attitudes toward using LLM, but selected experience to recognize academic, ethical, and privacy risks. As tasks became more complex, they ignored the risks. The last point is training can increase users' awareness of the limitation of the LLMs and lead to more appropriate strategies when using LLM tools, similar to what experience with LLM can do. So this is the end of our presentation. Thanks for your attention. Here is the Q&A section.